What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blurred Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, before we get into today's video, a little public service announcement, because I've been noticing there are people out there pretending to be me, pretending to give away a PlayStation 5. And about a couple of weeks ago, I announced that I was giving away a PlayStation 5 to celebrate 5 years being on YouTube. And apparently there are people out there who want to pretend to be me and try and trick you into thinking that I'm replying to your comments and telling you I have something special for you. That's not the case. If you see anyone in the comments with my profile picture with my name or something close to it, and they are telling you that they are me and that they have something special for you, don't believe it. I would never reply to your comment and tell you I have something special to you and that you should go to this link or go to this website or call me at this number. I wouldn't do it. I have better ways to get a hold of you. That said, I am actually giving away a PlayStation 5, unlike these other weirdos pretending to be me. So go check out the link in the description, or you can check out the pinned comment below. And with that said, let's talk about A.X.E. Judgment Day number 5 by Kieran Gillen and Valerio Schiti. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down whether or not the progenitor actually killed all of those people that we saw die in A.X.E. Judgment Day number 4. I'm also going to be breaking down how the Eternals are able to fight back against the progenitor despite the fact the Eternals have strict protocols in place that prevent them from doing so, and we're also going to talk about the reasoning behind why Krakoa used their last resurrection egg for a non-mutant character.
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
So when last we left off, the progenitor had wiped out tons of people across New York City. Now, some people thought there was no rhyme or reason behind why Captain America seemingly survived this, what was otherwise deadly attack. And we also see over the course of this, other people also seem to survive. And while there was the idea of, oh, well, wait a minute, did he kill the people who he judged favorably and then left behind the ones that he didn't judge favorably, like this was the Rapture or something like that? Was this one of those scenarios where maybe he did the opposite? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, yes, everything we saw in A.X.E. Judgment Day was real. This wasn't a projection, a psychic projection, as it was 2 issues prior. That's not the case. This time, everyone you saw get their cheeks clapped, or in this case, vaporized. In the previous issue, all of it was real, as well as everyone we see in this issue die. All of it is real. As far as the logic behind who survived and who didn't, I don't really have a clear answer for the greater world at large. We do see over the course of this comic, our human characters who are tied to the Hex, characters like Tom, Jada, Katrina, so on and so forth, they all survived because, well, they just survived. They weren't in the blast radius, or at least if they were able to get to cover. At least that's the case I'm going to make for characters like Jada, who weren't that far away from Captain America when everything happened. And the reason why I'm throwing out the whole, oh, well, they left behind the people who were judged unworthy and just got rid of everyone who was, is because of the characters that were tied to the Hex. All of them were judged differently. Kenta wasn't judged at all. Jada and Daniela were judged favorably. Tom and Katrina were judged unfavorably. So the fact that all of them are still hanging around, with the exception of Arjun, his widow, Kamali, she is very much still alive. She's just sitting back and just watching everything go down. The reason why Captain America was able to survive, and I think it's honestly the most logical reason, it's the thing I've been telling pretty much everyone since this whole issue came out, was that it was very likely his shield. It's an adamantium vibranium alloy, which kind of makes it the best of both worlds. It's not 100% indestructible, but it's also very absorbent of vibration and kinetic energy as a whole. So the fact that he was able to hold up that shield and block the attack is not that far out of the realm of possibility. Hence why he was still alive at the end of the previous issue and the beginning of this one. But one of the things I do appreciate about this is that it puts a lot of genuine respect on the name of Captain America and why the world sees him as the leader of leaders. He is able to inspire people. That is his unofficial superpower. He is able to give speeches that rile people up, that get them to see the error of their ways. He's almost like Naruto. Every time Naruto goes up against a big bad, he's able to talk him down and be like, you're out of pocket. And the villain's like, you know what? Maybe I am. Only Captain America does it with a little more bass in his voice than Naruto did, but Captain America is able to get people to stand on their feet and fight the good fight when there's no fight left within them. And that is why, at the beginning of this issue, Nightcrawler goes and picks up Cap and sends him to the North Pole where they can talk to the Progenitor, give the Progenitor a piece of Captain America's mind, and show the Progenitor that in the face of utter annihilation, the people of Earth are not standing down. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, what is Captain America going to do to this Progenitor? Why would the Progenitor fear this? The reality is the Progenitor doesn't fear any of this. Progenitor doesn't care. It's like, it's Captain America. It's like, going somewhere. But the reason why this was done is because, while yes, Captain America tried to inspire others in the previous issue, and it failed, this time, it's actually going to work. Charles Xavier, as well as Jean Grey and various other psychics across Krakoa, are psychically projecting this moment to every living being on the planet. Every human being, every superhero, every non-superhero, presumably even supervillains, everyone is seeing Captain America walk up and stare down a Progenitor, and while it does ultimately result in Steve Rogers' death, and yes, you heard that right, Steve Rogers gets his cheeks turned inside out for this, it got the desired result because everyone is banding together. This is the thing that the Progenitor has actually been trying to make happen this entire time. He's been trying to get this world to be less a world divided. And now everyone's banding together. Humans, mutants, Eternals, all the different armies across the world, they're pouring their resources together and trying to stop the Progenitor from wiping out all life on Earth. And yes, this does result in a ton of deaths. I can go ahead and read you the death toll right now. Characters as powerful as Thor, who, mind you, at this particular point in time, is the All-Father of the Asgard. This isn't just regular Thor. This isn't even just Thor who just became king of Asgard. This is Thor who wields the power of Odin, and he gets vaporized. Characters like the Starbrand, the Phoenix, Jean Grey, Exodus, Icarus, various and sundry members of the Hex, namely Ryaka Centaurus, each and every one of the Stepford Cuckoos with their heads literally on fire as their minds have been quite literally blown. We see Cyclops' optic blast turned on him, rupturing his skull, killing him. We also see Captain Marvel suffer the same fate as the original Captain Marvel, Marvel, dying of cancer, only at an accelerated rate. We see Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan withered and emaciated. We see Fantastic Four's Thing crumble. We even presumably see Spider-Man and Magic get wrecked, even though we don't necessarily see them actually dying, but we see Spider-Man's Spidey sense being completely overloaded, and Magic seemingly having her own magic turned against her. We also see characters like Archangel being utterly annihilated, as well as Mystique and Destiny dying in each other's arms as they are literally burning to cinders. We also learn that Egg, one of the 5, has also been killed. And this is something that's a big deal that I'm going to talk about a little later in this video. San Francisco is burned to cinders. The Eternals' Olympus falls. Krakoa burns, and even a space shuttle trying to escape Earth's orbit is utterly decimated. There's no escape from the Progenitor's celestial judgment. Now, I mentioned just a moment ago that everyone was banding together, not just the humans and the mutants, but also the Eternals were involved in this attack. Now, I have constantly harped about the fact that the Eternals are not able to fight back against the Celestials, and then whenever they try to break one of their core protocols, those being that they are to protect the machine, they are to protect the Celestials, the other being that they are to correct excess deviation. But the first two, we have actually seen the Eternals operate under. And what I mean by that is we saw early on in A.X.E. Judgment Day, when the Celestials were originally attacked, the Eternals immediately defaulted into being controlled by the Progenitor. When we saw the core Eternals attacking the mutants on Krakoa, they weren't doing it of their own volition. It was the Progenitor controlling them. And we've also seen recently in the prelude to Judgment Day when Druig tried to detonate an antimatter bomb underneath Krakoa to destroy all the mutants on the island, including the island itself, we learned that Krakoa, because of the nature of its existence, is technically a part of the machine, it being this organic island that, while it is a living island, it is technically a part of the Earth, and the Earth is the machine. So since Druig was trying to destroy it, Druig started bleeding out of his eyes and his mouth and his ears, and he was literally being killed for trying to destroy the machine, and he had to recall that antimatter bomb just so he could survive. The same thing would happen if the Eternals just stood idly by and just let a Celestial be attacked. And it's here that we discover there is actually a workaround for that. That workaround being mind control. Jean Grey has been given the keys to the Eternals' mind. Phastos has taken down the firewalls that protect them from being psychically manipulated by anyone other than a Celestial. He's given access to them strictly to Jean, not Charles, not Mr. Sinister, not Amal Farouk, not Exodus, no one else. Only Jean Grey has the ability to control the Eternals. This is what allows the Eternals to fight back against the Celestial despite breaking their protocols. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the death of one of the five, that being Egg. Now you're probably sitting here thinking to yourself, well, Egg has the most useless part of the Five's responsibilities in resurrecting mutants, but that's actually not true. We have seen in the past that when Egg has been out of commission, this actually hampers the production of the eggs that are created in order to resurrect the mutants that they resurrect. Now you're probably wondering, well, can't someone else do this job? And so far, no one else has really seemed to be able to. While yes, characters like Proteus, while he's able to manipulate reality, he could probably create something very similar, but there's something about the eggs that Egg creates that are particularly special. And because of the death of Egg and the high volume of resurrections that have happened as of late, because of the events of Judgment Day and so many different mutants being killed left and right, and then being resurrected to get them back into the fight to protect their island, there aren't that many eggs laying around right now to begin with. And what few eggs they do have to go to high priority individuals. They resurrect Jean, Exodus, and Wolverine. But why Wolverine? Well, honestly, they need someone who can scrap, and they're about to get into scrap. That's the only logic I can come up with. Is I can think of 10, maybe even 20 other mutants off the top of my head that would be way more useful right now than Wolverine. You could be resurrecting magic to help get you that teleportation that you need to, get people around in mass. You could be resurrecting the Stepford Cuckoos, or at least some of them, because you need that extra telepathic arsenal. You could be resurrecting Destiny so that you can stay up to speed on whether or not you're on the right path. But no, they chose Wolverine. They didn't even bother resurrecting Cyclops this issue, and Cyclops is arguably one of the greatest leaders in all of the Marvel Comics universe. But that's just the problem. He's just one of them. They need the GOAT. They need somebody who they can undeniably rely on to inspire people. And while Cyclops is, in fact, the Captain America of mutants, he's just that. He's the Captain America of mutants. They need the genuine article. And this is why they used their last egg to resurrect Captain America. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Some of you are probably just rushing into the comments right now going, oh, what? Since when have they been able to resurrect humans? It's funny you ask. They've actually proved they could do it as recent as Trial of Magneto. Specifically, Trial of Magneto number 4 by Leah Williams, Lucas Wernick, and David Messina. It was in that issue that we discovered that the process that the Five used to resurrect mutants was actually done on Krakoa by the Scarlet Witch. Now, granted, the Five were able to resurrect her, even though technically she resurrected herself. The process of creating the egg and aging everything up the way that the Five normally do, that was already done by the Five. The only thing Wanda did was plant her own consciousness back into the husk that was created for her. She was resurrected the way that mutants are resurrected. We have to remember, Wanda is no longer a mutant. Wanda Maximoff has not been a mutant since she was retconned into being just a normal human in Rick Remender and David Acuña's Uncanny Avengers number 4 in 2015. She is not the daughter of Magneto, nor is Quicksilver. They are both creations of the High Evolutionary. So technically, the High Evolutionary is the pappy here. Now, once again, the process, this has never really been attempted since then, but it is actually true. They can resurrect humans. But the idea of resurrection was something that was always a state secret, something that no one else was really supposed to know about. But in the wake of the recent issue of X-Men number 12, the secret is out. So it's one of those deals where it was something they probably always knew they could do, but just chose not to do because they didn't want the word getting out. But now it is revealed they can. They resurrect Captain America because they need him to lead the charge yet again. This is a huge deal because not only are they resurrecting a human, but they are also resurrecting one of the humans that's probably considered one of the greatest heroes of all time, a person who just recently inspired a lot of people to step up to the plate against celestial judgment. And not only that, it also proves that Krakoa is not selfish to the rest of the world regarding the mutant technology they currently have. Now, the question is, did they change anything with Captain America when they did it? Because we do know when mutants are resurrected, they are resurrected at their peak, in their prime, and it's one of those situations where technically Captain America is already in peak human physicality, but like we saw with characters like Synch came back with a 4% increase, and we've seen other characters come back with secondary mutations, characters like Callisto, who came back with an ability to make herself invisible after she was resurrected in Jerry Duggan's Marauders number 17. I don't think that's actually going to be the case, but I am curious to see just how spry Cap is going to be after he pops out of that egg. Another thing to consider too, that why not resurrect Captain America? Because if this all goes over well, and the mutants need good PR after all this is said and done to try and help smooth things over with the rest of the world, to get them to see that they're not the villains that they think they are, who better to advocate for you than Captain America? Now, I know some are going to be angry because they feel like Captain America has never really put the cape on, or rather the stars and stripes on, for mutants in the past, but the thing is, this is something Captain America is keenly aware of, and I feel like he has been trying as of late to step up to the plate in that regard, and I feel like after this, he very likely will do a lot more to try and stand up for mutant rights than he ever has in the past. But anyways, that's everything I wanted to talk about with A.X.E. Judgment Day number 5. There was a lot of really crazy stuff going on in this book, and I know there's some things I probably glossed over, but I feel like those were the most important parts of this book that I really wanted to commentate on. But in the meantime, if you want to know more about what's been going on with the X-Men lately and why mutant resurrection is no longer a secret, check out this playlist right here. And if you want to know more about the resurrection of Wanda Maximoff during Trial of Magneto, check out this playlist down here. In the meantime, let me know what you thought about A.X.E. Judgment Day number 5. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.